Welcome to the Woman Worriers podcast. You worry, I worry, we all do. If you're paying attention to the world today, there's a lot for women to feel worried and anxious about. As we explore the worries with curiosity and compassion, we learn to live more authentically and unleash the warrior within, someone who is strong, capable, and resilient, come what may. It's time to stop battling against yourself and start using your powers to meet everyday challenges with energy, purpose, and bravery. Now here's your host, Elizabeth Cush.
This episode of the Woman Worriers podcast is sponsored by Upfinch, a library of guided journals that are geared toward understanding the specifics of our life. When you sign up, you get 1 month free, and when you use the code WORRIORS, you'll get 15% off for the life of your subscription. You can find them at upfinch.com. Welcome back to the Woman Worriers podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Cush, and I am a licensed clinical professional counselor here in Annapolis, Maryland, doing all online therapy as I have been since March, and excited that we are entering 2021. January is here, and I'm hopeful. I am hopeful. I'm hopeful that more and more people will be vaccinated, that restrictions will be lifted, that life will get back to a sense of normalcy, and that hopefully by, in my head, it's probably summertime that things will really feel less stressful, but I guess that will depend on how quickly all of us can get the vaccine, how available it will be, and all of that. But I am hopeful, and the days are getting longer. It is still winter here in Annapolis, and will be for quite a few more months, but the prospect of spring approaching feels really good. Feels really, really good. And what do you have coming up in your life this new year? New opportunities for work or play or relationships? I know that's been really hard through the pandemic, is building new relationships because we're so isolated. But I hope there are some things that you have that you are looking forward to in your life, in your work, in your home. So today I am focusing the episode on journaling. It is something that I recently took up regularly. Well, recently, when the pandemic began, I turned to my journal as a way of documenting the impact it's having on my life, but also just as a way to process feelings and my anxiety, because I definitely have been feeling more stress and anxiety through these last however many months it's been, almost a year. So I'm journaling every night before I go to bed. And sometimes it's just a few sentences. Sometimes it's longer. It depends on where I am in the day, but it really has helped. And I look forward to it being a part of my bedtime ritual. I've even managed to mark up my sheets with a few pen marks by mistake, but it's all good. So do you journal? Have you journaled? I found my old journals in the basement recently, and I had this feeling that I'd thrown them away. I guess we've moved a couple times in the last 10 years, and there was a part of me that thought maybe they were some of the things that got left behind or gotten rid of to make space because we moved into a much smaller house. But there they were in a little container, all organized and just there waiting for me to find them again. I've been so surprised. I've gone back to them a couple of times, reading through some really difficult parts of my life, but also just reading what I've chosen to write about. And it's been very surprising. I'll get to that in a minute. But there's also been some things I've totally did not remember. So that was kind of fun to look back on parts of my life, and sometimes disturbing, honestly. I've been through some tough things, and sometimes reading the entries was really, really hard. But I'm excited because this month the podcast is being sponsored by Upfinch, and it is an online journaling platform created to make your life more intentional, focused, purposeful. They have some really amazing prompts that walk you through how you're feeling, how it's impacting your life, how your feelings or your anxiety and stress are impacting your life, and then strategies to work through, moving forward, what you can do differently or ways you can think about things in a different light. Before bringing them on as a sponsor, I wanted to be sure that their mission was aligned with my mission for the podcast as well. Since this is my very first sponsorship, I really thought long and hard about this, but I also had an opportunity to talk to the founders of Upfinch. And they shared that their message is, if we don't take time to consciously reflect on our lives, it will never occur. Instead of floating to the next temporary island of comfort, we should be clearly defining what we want and how to get there. So I hope you'll check them out. As I said, it's an online journaling platform. You can find out more at upfinch.com, and I'm excited to have them on board as a sponsor. So back to journaling. So, journaling can take any form that works for you. You can use an online platform. You can write in a paper journal. It can be a combination of writing and artwork. There are so many options, but I really, truly believe in the therapeutic value of journaling. It's not for everyone, but if it resonates with you, I would encourage you to do some exploration on how to bring more journaling time into your life. So some of the things that were surprising that I found out in my journals was I went to a Linda Ronstadt concert with my sister. I probably was in high school. If I'm remembering correctly, I was in high school and she had come home from college and we went together. I have absolutely no memory of this concert, but it warms my heart to think that she and I did that together because, I still do. I love Linda Ronstadt, and the fact that I got to see her before her career ended just means a lot to me in my heart. There were also some really difficult passages to read around the time that I was involved in the emotionally abusive relationship that I've talked about in other episodes of the podcast. It was when I was in college, and some of the entries are painful to read, but it really helped me to feel the compassion and love for that part of me that was so wounded, that was so hurt, that was just looking to be loved and so willing to accept even destructive love. And it also brought me some perspective on how much I've grown and how much has changed in my life since then. But one of the highlights of that time was I went to see Donna Summer in concert also in Philadelphia with some college friends. And I have some vague memories of that, but I found the ticket stub in my journal, and that made me smile because, again, another amazing artist, another amazing female artist that I got to see in person in their heyday. And that's something. And I'm not sure I would have remembered that had I not had my journals to prompt those memories. So I hope you'll consider trying Upfinch. There is a free period of time that you can join for a month. We're also offering discounts here on the podcast, and I hope that you'll try it out. So going into the new year, I also hope that you will find some joy and some things to look forward to as we move forward into 2021. I do believe this year will be a better one, and we deserve it. We deserve to get back to some normalcy, some sense of safety, and bring back the routines that really mean a lot to us. So for me, I miss dining out. I miss traveling. My husband and I typically take one big trip a year, and it got canceled last spring, and we won't get to do it this year, probably, maybe towards the later end of the year. But right now it's not on the books, but I know that will happen again. I know we'll be able to do that again. But I hope that there are some things for you that you can look forward to that will bring back the joys and anticipations and events lost last year. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope that you will take some time to practice some journaling. It's a wonderful routine and habit to get into, and I hope you will try it or bring it back or continue to do it. Ciao for now from this Woman Worrier. I know that journaling has helped me manage my stress and anxiety, especially during this very stressful time of living during a pandemic. I know sometimes it's hard for me to come up with journaling prompts, and I've heard that from friends and clients too. So this month, our podcast is being sponsored by Upfinch, an online journaling platform designed to help you consciously reflect on your life. The entries are geared toward understanding the specifics of our life, and they're never accessed even by a piece of software, let alone a human being. When you sign up, you get 1 month free, and if you use the code WORRIERS, you'll get 15% off for the life of your subscription. Go to upfinch.com.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Woman Worriers podcast. The information in this podcast is not a substitute for seeking help from a licensed mental health professional. Music was written and performed by Andy Cush. If you'd like more information on this episode, you can find the show notes, the resources shared today, and links to the guest profiles at womanwarriors.com.